Senator Hunt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, colleagues. I am going to be a red vote on LB 386, which would increase the salaries for the Supreme Court and indirectly would increase the salaries for all judges in our state. I understand that state judges are state employees because they're part of a separate branch of government, and their pay raise is in a separate bill rather than the pay raise bill for the general state employees. So as a consequence, when I'm deciding whether to support this bill, I have to ask myself, do the judges deserve a pay raise? I have specific and I have general reasons to oppose this bill. Last fall, just days before the general election, the Nebraska Supreme Court issued an order prohibiting the placing of a constitutional amendment on the ballot, which would have provided for the legalization of medicinal cannabis, bringing Nebraska into 1996. Supporters of the ballot initiative had gathered 190,000 signatures from across the state to put that question on the ballot. This represents 10% of the population of the state, not of the voters, but of all the people. The signatures were gathered in about 6 weeks' time during a pandemic. Despite the clear, broad, and strong support for placing this question on the ballot, the Supreme Court held that the ballot question violated the state's constitutional single subject rule. Supporters of the measure, including my colleagues Senator Morfeld and Senator Wishart especially, were stunned by this decision. After years and years of advocacy, years and years of standing up for mothers with epileptic children who face seizures, of cancer patients, hundreds of hours getting the issue placed on the ballot, the court disregarded an unequivocal request from the people of Nebraska who pay the taxes that pay their salaries. In response to the court's decision, Senator Wishart introduced legislation to address the single subject rule, which I'm proud to co-sponsor, and avoid a repeat of that court's last-minute decision to keep the marijuana initiative off the ballot. Those bills were heard before the Government Committee, of which I am a member, and at the hearing we learned a lot about the single subject rule. Specifically, the standard for the application of the single subject rule is largely created, it's judicially created. It's up to the courts whether they think it's a single subject or not. Oh my gosh, there's a bird in here. Coincidentally or otherwise, the governor has appointed many of the people on the Supreme Court, and the decision had the consequence of silencing a very clear expression of will from the public. My opposition is not just limited to this Supreme Court decision either. Since I've been a state senator, I have received so many emails, regularly contacted by my constituents or others who are unhappy with judges' decisions regarding criminal cases, custody cases, divorce actions. And after the decision striking the medical marijuana question from the ballot, I made up my mind that we can't reward the judges for this decision. At this point, the body seems comfortable with funding the judge's retirement fund with court fees, which we nickel and dime people who are prosecuted in the courts or who use the court system to seek redress, and we make them pay a user fee for the judge's retirement fund. So this body obviously always looks out for judges, but we are so quick to say no to other people, like some of you did yesterday when Senator Kavanaugh brought up the developmentally disabled issue, or when I bring my bill to increase the tip minimum wage from $2.13 an hour. We are so quick to say no to a salary increase for them. Yet here we are, giving an increase to the judges and seemingly more willing than ever to give them an annual salary that's close to $200,000 a year, while we continue to say no to everybody else. I have been an employer. I am an employer. I've had to review my employees' performances for determining pay raises. And in my opinion, our judges do not deserve a pay raise based on their performance in the past year. I will not be supporting this bill. There are so many people in the state of Nebraska who deserve a pay raise. We have not been here for them, and so I will not be here for the judges on this issue. Thank you, Mr. President.